Y'all, a wasp flew in here. It has infiltrated the fort. So at any point during this video, if you see me about to, just know it's me versus them and I'm gonna win. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another about me. I thought for today I could discuss some movie, TV, and music topics that shows a bit more about my other entertainment taste. However, before we get into that, I wanted to ask, does anybody want a Notion tour? Question. I feel like I put a lot of time into my Notion and I don't have anybody else to show but y'all. I'm using Notion for over 2 years now, I think, to track my book collection, but I've also been using it to track my vinyl records, my K-pop albums, and any movies that I buy physically, like Blu-rays and 4K collections. So does anybody want a Notion tour? Because I can do that. If not though, I ain't gonna show it. Because as much as I want to show it, it's also very personal. But I thought it'd be interesting because I feel like a lot of people ask how you track books on Notion, and then you have to pay for these templates and these spreadsheets, all for you to just set up a database that you could do yourself in Notion. So if anyone wants that, let me know. But for now, we are going to go ahead and get into more of about me questions. What is your Letterboxd top 4? So for the first two, no questions asked, right? The last two I can explain. The first movie on my Letterboxd top 4 is Battle Royale. This is a Japanese film that I watched for the first time this year. I was participating in Japanuary, but that didn't pan out because I did not complete all the movies that I needed to hit the Japanuary count. But I did get around to a few movies and this was one of them. This basically follows a Japanese 9th grade class who is forced by the government to go on an isolated island and basically compete and kill each other so that only one student remains. There's a couple rules that they have to follow as they go through the next 3 days on the island. And in the event that there's an uncooperative student, their head is going to get blown off by these collars that's attached to their neck that got put on them. I'll put my Letterboxd review on the screen because I feel like it better explain my thought process and what I felt after I watched the movie for the first time. But aside from this being one of my favorite action movies right now, as well as a good example of the type of movies that I like to watch, this was such a think piece, I feel on the Japanese school system as well as parental absenteeism. Aside from all the action and the gore that's happening on, what is going on in Japan? That's what I felt like when I was watching this movie, and it was just so good. And I don't know if I've already bought it, but if I haven't, that is one of the top movies that I am trying to collect right now. But yeah, this was an amazing movie. A lot of people also say that this is one of the inspirations that Hunger Games took its plot and the dystopian feel from, and when you watch it, you can definitely see that if it's true. You can definitely see where Hunger Games got its juice from, if that's where Suzanne Collins got her inspiration from. I also feel it's always interesting to see where movies got the inspiration from. So for example, I've watched Tarantino's Kill Bill several times, but I have not watched the film that it is inspired by, which is Lady Snowblood, and they say he ripped that to shreds. They say he ripped that movie off so bad, so I can't wait to watch it. The next movie on my Letterboxd top 4 is The Departed. If I had to pick a Scorsese film, it's going to be this one. I feel if I had to pick a movie that was 5 stars, it would maybe be this one. I don't have a 5 star on my Letterboxd, and I feel I'm being pressured to make one, but I still treat movies like I treat books. It is very rare that I'm gonna hit a 5 star. Granted, I do have 5 star books, but I don't have a 5 star movie. So I said I was gonna rewatch The Departed and see if it's still a 4.5 star or if it's actually a 5 star, and then I'll have a basis. But also, this is a Boston Mafia undercover cop action drama directed by Martin Scorsese. I feel it's kind of a no-brainer that I'm gonna like it. So I'm also working my way through a couple of directors' filmography, and Martin Scorsese is one of them. I've only seen The Departed, I've seen The Killers of the Flower Moon, I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, which I also really do love, and I have a couple of them that I still need to watch, like Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, and The Last Temptation of Christ. All of those are still movies that I need to watch, so they're high on my priorities to be watched list. Now the next one is Heaven's Official Blessing, the anime. Listen, if Letterboxd lets me do it, I'ma add it. Is it the best show that I've ever watched? No, but it's going on there for Hua Chong, okay? The last movie is a feel-good movie. I feel the phrase Fast and Furious set the groundwork for the rest of the series, and it just didn't follow. But after movie 5, I tap out. I don't know what happens in that series, and I really don't care. But I feel the first 5 movies are fine. I like the first Fast and the Furious. I have watched it an unhealthy amount of times. It's one of my comfort films. And so I put it on my Letterboxd top 4 because why not? I feel the first film is inherently homoerotic anyway, so of course I was going to put it on my Letterboxd top 4. What are my top songs from 2025? I am using Spotify for this, and I feel I need to put a disclaimer. Spotify lies. For the sake of transparency, I will put a screenshot of like the first 5 to 10 songs that was on my top 2025. But I feel like the stats not right. Like there's no way that Kevin Gates is my top artist. There's just no way. I refuse to believe it. Kevin Gates has been my top artist for like 3 years and I don't understand why. I feel like I don't listen to that much Kevin Gates in general. Like there's just no way. He is not my favorite artist. I really don't have no explanation for any of these. Except for Dermot Kennedy. I do love Dermot Kennedy a lot. I even went to his concert last year, but I'll talk about that. But the rest of these, I really don't have no explanation. I feel like Spotify only takes your stats from like the end of the year and they forget the whole rest of the year. I need to figure out how they be calculating the top songs of the year because I feel like mine is just not accurate. Like 3 Kevin Gates songs in the top 5 is crazy to me. We're not going to talk about the King Von. I do be having my moments where I just be like, you know, so you just gotta, we're gonna see what 2026 look like because I've been listening to a lot of different music and I feel like that's still not gonna be accurate, but we're gonna try anyway. We gotta get Kevin Gates out of there though. Top movie you've watched in 2026. So I'm gonna split this up by a 2026 released movie and then a movie not released this year, but I still watched it for the first time in 2026. So I did watch The Odyssey when it came out and I personally really enjoyed the film. I feel like for a Christopher Nolan film, this is a good movie. You can't deny the direction. You can't deny the acting was really good in there. You can't really deny it being a good film from an artistic viewpoint. You get what I'm saying? Like this is a good Christopher Nolan film. Is it a good adaptation? No. As someone who has not read The Odyssey recently, I feel like I've read it a long time ago when I was in school, but I've never read it in full. I feel like with my education, they always used to pick the most important parts in order to explain really long classics. And I feel like that's detrimental until knowing the full story, especially when you have to like start from the Iliad and then go to the Odyssey, which by the way, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't like it because I felt like half the story is missing. Baby, you in a whole different book. But I know that Emily Wilson, who is like the female translator for The Odyssey, and I feel like she's the only one, if not like one of the first, because I remember there being a whole debacle from like the misogynist technically about her translation of the Iliad. But I do think her opinion on like the perception of Odysseus inside Nolan's film is valid. And I'm one of those people who can separate the adaptation from the source material to an extent. Like if it was 100% out of the ways, I'd be like, okay, what you doing? But it wasn't. I personally feel like this was a good Nolan interpretation of The Odyssey. Anne Hathaway did an amazing job. Matt Damon locked in. Zendaya and Lupita, for the 5 seconds they was in the film, completely locked in. I really didn't have that many complaints other than I probably should have read the novel before I watched the film because as I was watching it, I was like, is this how that happened? Or am I missing something? So I wish I would have had more context, but I still had enough context to understand the film and know the source material of The Odyssey. I feel like a lot of people complaining don't know the source material. But I'm not an expert, so I'm gonna butt my way out of that. But if you complain about the movie and don't know that it's an adaptation, then I'm sorry, but they ain't got no change for you. But outside of The Odyssey, I have watched a couple of good films that I really like this year. I watched The Furious, which is basically a kung fu film that follows a man trying to save his daughter from human traffickers. Y'all, when I tell you the fight choreography in this film shook me as a noob to films, I feel like I'm a newbie Seinfeld. I don't even want to say I'm a Seinfeld because they scary over there. I'm just here to have a good time. And sometimes they not, okay? So I haven't watched a lot of kung fu films in general, but I know for a fact that Asian films have the fight choreography unlocked, and this is a great example of it. I will say 2 of the actors I know for a fact are inside another popular martial arts film called The Raid. I have those on my shelf because as soon as I watched The Furious, I wanted to go right into The Raid. So I'm eventually going to watch those 2 films because this is such an amazingly choreographed film, you guys. And then the last film that I'll put here is called Ten Dance. This is a Japanese film that I think was adapted by either a webcomic or like a BL manga under the same name. It follows 2 dancers who practice 2 very different dance styles, but in order for them to compete in the competition that's called the Ten Dance, they team up in order to learn from each other, and basically as they're teaming up, they realize that they have a little bit too much chemistry. You guys, the acting by one of the actors, Ryoma Takuchi, I apologize if I butchered your name. His acting was so good in this film. I was like, y'all, I'm feeling everything he feeling. I also feel like his acting was a great pair for Keita Machida, the other actor's acting, because he plays it more stoic, and I feel like I've watched him in something else where he's more stoic or reserved. He's also in Alice in Borderland, which is a TV show that I had started but I haven't finished yet. And Ryoma Takuchi's acting was a lot more aggressive and upfront and passionate. And of course that aligned with each of their characters' dance styles. It was a really good film. I really enjoyed this. In popular BL fashion, I just wish it was a little bit more steamy. That's all I had to say. But I feel like if you're looking for something that has a lot of tension and chemistry between the characters, then this is a really good film to watch. I of course watched the drama with Zendaya, which was a really good film. Also, we all know who the real Op is in that movie. Let's not pretend we don't. But I feel like if you watch the drama, go watch The Invite. I would love to see people watch those films as a set, because the drama follows a couple who's going through a very interesting partner reveal, whereas The Invite follows another married couple who are basically having unsolicited swingers couples therapy, okay? I would love to see somebody watch these films together because I feel like it would be hilarious. But both of these are also really good films, and I would give those like honorable mentions of what I really enjoyed that came out this year. And then non-2026 releases that I watched for the first time this year, of course, was Battle Royale, which is on my Letterboxd #1. I watched Grave of the Fireflies for the first time this year. This is an animated Japanese film that I also watched when I was doing Japanuary, and it follows a boy named Saida as he tries to take care of his sister during the time of World War II, and Japan is getting hit by all these air raids. And during this time, there's a shortage of food while also being a shortage of shelter, or at least homes that will take in 2 abandoned children, basically. Nobody warned me that this film was so sad. This film almost got me to cry. Like, the end of the film, I was like, you know what? Count your days. I did not know that film was going to be so sad, and I probably should have known that, because I feel like people talk about it a lot, but I try to ignore everything that's said about a film until I get to watch it for the first time. Yeah, the adult limitations of caring for kids inside this film, yeah, I was not happy. But it's also such a really good film, so y'all go watch it. I also watched Heat for the first time this year. This is basically the OG cop ex-criminal yaoi. I had to watch it. People have been telling me to watch it. They say this is the basis for all the other stuff that we've been watching, and they right. I watched it for the first time, and all I had to say is, this is the first time that I've ever been attracted to Robert De Niro. I could not believe what happened to me during this film. I couldn't believe it, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And then the last non-release that I'll mention is Yokohama BJ Blues. Another film that I would say is exactly my type of film, simply because it's such a nice plot-based but non-action drama that I really enjoy. It follows a blues player who's also involved in like the criminal world, because he's also acting as a private investigator, and he ends up having to investigate the murder of one of his friends. This was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. I think it just caught me off guard, and it was exactly what I needed at the time. Comfort movie or TV shows. So I've already said one of my comfort movies, which is The Fast and the Furious. I will also put Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes films, the Guy Ritchie films, as a comfort film. I have watched, I think, the second one, A Game of Shadows, so many times, it's not even funny. Y'all, my neighbors are screaming. I wonder if y'all can hear that. Can y'all hear that? Again, I don't know why I like these films so much, but there are certain scenes in the Guy Ritchie films that are in slow-mo that I just love every time. And I don't know why. The little scene in the second one with the bullet that goes through the woods, I eat it up every time. And then another comfort film I would say is Pulp Fiction. When I first watched Pulp Fiction, I was like, oh yeah, this is my jam. And every time I watch it now, I have good memories about it, because I just really enjoyed it the first time I watched it. And so now I just put it as a comfort film, because since then I feel like I've watched better films. But I don't even know if I would say if I had to pick a Tarantino film, I'd pick this one. I probably would. And then my comfort TV shows are Supernatural. I am not any different than any other Tumblr girl who was on the Supernatural grind, okay? I believe I've only ever watched in full the first 8 seasons. Or at least I'm on season 8 now, but I know everything that happens in the later seasons. I know how it ends. I don't really care about any spoilers. It's Supernatural. It's been on for the last 15 years. But I'm currently in the middle of a rewatch so that I can actually fully understand the whole plot line of Supernatural. And I'm on season 8 or 9 currently right now. I will also say Shadowhunters is also a comfort show. This is the TV adaptation of Cassandra Clare's City of Bones series. Is the show good? No, it's not. Am I invested? Yes. Yes, I am. If I need something to watch while I'm reading to put on in the background, because I am one of those people who cannot read when there's something interesting going on in the background. I can't read when there's like music going on in the background. I'm gonna put on Shadowhunters. I love me some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, another show that I have not watched in full, so I just keep repeating the first 5 seasons. I don't know if I said this in my last vlog, but one of my friends compared me to a crossover between Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Nick from New Girl, with a little bit of Jess sprinkled in for fun. So I don't know what that means for me. And then I would watch Amazing World of Gumball over and over again. I love me some Amazing World of Gumball. I feel like I'm Gumball whenever he's screaming. Okay, songs you've been listening to the most lately. Is It a Crime by Mariah the Scientist? I have shockingly had that song on repeat for like a couple months now. I am not an R&B girly. I don't listen to a lot of R&B in my opinion, but Is It a Crime and About Mine by Mariah the Scientist are her two best songs to me, and I will play those over and over again. I do like that song. So I also just really love the Kali Uchis verse on there. Like, something about the Kali Uchis verse is just, have anybody seen the memes on Twitter that's been like, Artie Dong, be ready for me when I get home? That's been me with this BTS album. I've been replaying They Don't Know About Us by BTS and maybe Body to Body, but They Don't Know About Us been on constant repeat. It's the part in the chorus where they be like, yeah, damn, ooh, damn right, ooh, damn right. Yeah, I've been playing it on repeat, y'all. I got that album on vinyl. That's how serious it is. I've been playing a little bit of Jessie Murph back to back too. I do like Jessie Murph. I found her like last year, and I don't really see anybody ever talking about her music, but I really like her music. Lately, I've been playing the songs Sip and Bad Behavior or Best Behavior. I like Best Behavior a lot. I used to always listen to Wild Ones, but Best Behavior has kind of taken over. And I will say I have been listening to Back Again by King Von a lot. You just gotta listen to it sometime. You just gotta act like you one of them when you're not. Okay, we is not in the streets. Favorite BLs. So I haven't watched BLs in a long time. I feel like a couple years ago, that's all I was watching. And so I really want to get back into that. There's also been some GLs going on my TL lately, and GLTL. I don't know why I'm like this. Anyways, there's been some GLs that I've been seeing lately that I really want to get into. So I need to get back in my TV. I think when I lose my reading streak, I'll be like, okay, it's time. But when I was watching BLs, my favorite one so far was Kim Porsche, which is actually based off a novel series that I'm collecting. This is basically a bodyguard mafia BL romance. It's got one of the best sex scenes that I've seen so far in a Thai BL romance. But the performance by one of the actors who goes by Appo was so good to me. I was like, I haven't really seen anybody act like him in another BL. Like usually with BLs and it's either a very comedic tone or their directing style is just very specific, and that's how you know that it's a Korean drama or a Thai drama. But this one didn't feel like that, and I think that's why I enjoyed this one so much. And Appo's performance was amazing. I also think this one has a really good side story with two of the characters called Vegas and Pete. They have some side story that's got BDSM in it. I was invested, I will tell you. So this is a really good one, and I do plan on reading a novel for it. Another one that I really like is We Best Love. This is a Taiwanese drama that basically follows two classmates, both as they're in school and after. So you have to watch both seasons, I feel like, to get the full story. I like the second season a lot better than the first season, but it is a great season and companion, obviously, to the first one. So watch both seasons if you get into this one. It's kind of a one-sided enemies to lovers romance. And in the second season, there's a scene with one of the actors, Sam Lin. He does an amazing job, and I was like, you know what? You almost got me right there. You really did. So I really enjoyed this one a lot too. And the last one I would say is The Untamed. This is a Chinese BL drama based off the novel and the manhwa, The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, by the same author, MXTX, who writes Heaven's Official Blessing. But The Untamed is one of the first BLs that I watched when I was like studying abroad. It's 50 episodes, and each episode is like over an hour long. I ate up all 50 episodes. I ate them all up so fast I watched it again. I love this story so much. That's why I want to read the novel so bad. But I love this story so much. Wei Wook-san can do no wrong. Long John didn't deserve what y'all put him through. The anime or the animation is also really good. I watched that when that was on YouTube, and this was before they put everything behind a paywall. Yeah, go watch the animation too. I really like it. And then speaking of animations, what are my favorite animes or animes for first timer? My favorite anime is also one that I would recommend for a first timer. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You can't go wrong. I would die on this hill. Edward Elric is the GOAT. You know it's serious when I knock Gojo Satoru off his pedestal. Edward and Alphonse, they're like that Brooklyn Nine-Nine scene with Rose and the dog, and she's like, I've only known you for a day and a half, but if anything happened to you, I'd kill everyone in this room and then myself. It's that serious for me. There's always so much controversy on Twitter on like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood hate, and I just have to say, we don't care. I feel like it's a great first time anime as well. The OP, again, a song that I play over and over again when I heard it for the first time. Yeah, this one right here. Great animation, great theme song, great plot. You can't go wrong. Another personal favorite of mine is Jujutsu Kaisen. I had to put my goat on here. I like Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm a Gojo Satoru stan. I'm also a Sukuna stan. Don't ask me how that works out. Just know it does. Yes, I know what he did. We still stand Sukuna in this house. We also stand Yuji in this house. All the Yuji and Yuta haters, you are not welcome here. All the Maki haters, you are not welcome here. I probably wouldn't say Jujutsu Kaisen as the first anime because people have different opinions about shonens and whatnot, but I personally would say give it a go. I will also say Death Note is a good first anime if you didn't want to get into a shonen. The plight and downfall of a god complex. That's all I'll say. And then I guess you could say My Hero Academia for a first time anime, but I feel like if you're gonna go MHA, then you might as well just go Demon Slayer first because Demon Slayer is better. It is also a good manga. I have read the complete manga of Demon Slayer. And if you've read the manga for Demon Slayer, then you would know how atrocious the pacing is of the anime right now. But most people have not, so who am I to say? But those would be my recommendations. I would say Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Demon Slayer, and Death Note. And maybe Jujutsu Kaisen if you really want to be hurt and invested. Because Gigi don't care about us. Favorite concerts. So I've only been to 4 concerts and I'll rank them from favorite to least. But keep in mind, these are all amazing concerts in my opinion. Like these are all great concerts. I have no complaints. My favorite concert would be Twice. I saw Twice and BTS back to back 1 month after the other. I have no complaints. I would put the Twice concert first simply because of how close I was. Like Chaeyoung was right here, y'all. Was right there. Like they were literally right there in our face. I've never been that close to any artist or any concert ever and it was such a good concert. Jihyo has so much energy, it was like contagious. They all did an amazing job and that was probably one of my best experiences that I'll ever have. Then right after Twice, a month later, I went and saw BTS. If you don't know the pain of having Map of the Soul 7 concert tickets and then COVID hitting, then you don't know my pain. And then you don't know the pain of Ticketmaster playing in your face. And then I didn't know if I was ever going to see BTS ever because I didn't know if they was going to go on another tour after they came from the military. And then I finally got concert tickets. I didn't care where I sat. I just needed to be in the stadium. Still, as far as we were in comparison to the Twice concert, this was still a good concert. This was such a good concert, y'all. There was so much energy in the crowd and so much energy of them on stage. I'm in a state of total euphoria. Then I also saw Dermot Kennedy and Kendrick Lamar. The only reason that I would put the Dermot Kennedy concert first is again how close I was. But this was a more intimate concert. This is a concert that I went to go see by myself because it was an artist that I really enjoy and that I listen to all the time. He had a concert in a smaller arena and I just really enjoyed that more intimate setting because it was just you, him, a guitar, and maybe a piano, and that was it. The Kendrick arena was huge and there were so many people there. That was still a good concert though. Actually, when we were there, SZA actually came out into the crowd while we were waiting to get into line, so we actually saw SZA like face to face on a golf cart and that was crazy. But I loved all these concerts and I'm hoping that I get to go to a lot more in the future. Things you always quote from. I say cool a lot. Cool. And you could take this as a Brooklyn Nine-Nine meme, or if you've ever watched Community, you could say this is Abed from Community. As soon as I heard it, it was a vocal stem. Now, this is a recent vocal stem. I've been watching New Girl lately, and there's this episode where the character Winston is trying to do a puzzle. Puzzling. Winston is about to do some puzzling. About to get into some puzzle. And then I will follow it up with Schmidt line to myself. The picture's on the box. It's a Japanese garden.
Schmidt, what do you think it's gonna look like?
What do I think it's going to look like?
Yeah, the puzzle.
Winston, it's on the box. The picture's on the box. It's a Japanese garden.
There's also another one from New Girl that I've been saying or just been thinking about a lot. Like when I'm to myself, I say a lot of these. Like there doesn't need to be any people around. Which I don't know what that says about me. But there's this episode where one of the roommates barged into Schmidt's room, like when it's late at night, and he goes, "Are you one of the criminals from the statistics?"
The hell was that? Are you the criminals from the statistics?
And then the last thing I say I'll quote is from Supernatural. There's this episode where the character Garth has a sock puppet.
Cause Mr. Fizzles can sense when you're being a liar.
I say it all the time. This is the end of the video. I will leave you all with a nice bonus question, which is my most used memes. I do the Venom crash out regularly. The Chrissy Teigen meme, you know the one. The Joker meme. And what I call the Bleach meme. Yeah, I don't have a serious bone in my body. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. Comment down below what's your most used vocal stem or your most used meme. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. We're just about to do some puzzling. Oh, wait, guys, I want to show you my cup. Me and Sugar are having a drink. not a serious bone in my body.